There's some details about this bag which doesn't quite match up. Is it a super fake or a super vintage? Hi luxurious queens, welcome back to my channel, and today I really need your help and expertise on a Chanel full flap I chanced upon online. I know there are many of you who are experts in Chanel, but as you know, I am just a beginner in Chanel and trying to build my collection this year. So I have decided to do a YouTube video on it and get some ideas or tips on how I should go about it. Well, my name is Lokie and I love hunting for vintage luxury bags and of course sharing them with all of you. So if you're new here, I would love to welcome you to my corner, and please do subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Well, just a heads up first, I am still on a no-buy challenge this month, so I am very careful with spending and would want to think twice or thrice before purchasing any luxury items. Also, I have been checking on the rest of the ladies in this challenge, and it seems like they are doing pretty well in terms of spending, and I'm hoping not to be the first to ruin the record. So there is quite an inertia to buy a luxury bag. But you know what? It is always okay to window shop and look around. So as you know, with all the price increase from the luxury house of Chanel and Louis Vuitton, I'm actually planning to build my collection through the pre-loved route. So I've come across this gorgeous Chanel full flap which I quite like, and the price is fabulous, but I'm not sure if it's a super fake or a super vintage, as there's quite some details which doesn't quite match up, and I will tell you about it. So please lend me some help and maybe chip in anything you know about vintage Chanel bags. So far, this bag was listed at 3,950 Singapore dollars, which is equivalent to 2,940 US dollar, and really too good to be true. Comparing with the other vintage or pre-loved Chanel bags on the market, this exact model ranges from mid 3,500 up to 7,000 or $800. But of course, in the pre-loved market, there are a few more factors which contribute to the overall pricing. These would be the color, the leather, the hardware, the condition, the age, and if it comes in full sets like receipts, dust bag, box, authenticity card, and hologram. So in comparison with market price, this bag does sound like a good deal, so I decided to contact the seller. I was told that this bag does not have the hologram or any authenticity cards, which to me is quite iffy, because as far as I know for vintage bags, the main two things to look for is the hologram or serial number, which is found inside the bag, and the authenticity card, which should match that number. Now, I was a bit bummed about not having the hologram, but the seller claimed that the bag was made in the 1970s. I then went to read up about the Chanel hologram and authenticity cards, and it seems like the seller was right. Chanel only introduced authenticity cards and serial numbers in 1984, but still, at this stage, you know, it could be believable to be a super vintage or a super fake. This bag also did not come with any dust bag, box, or receipts of any sort, but it came with an entropy certificate. Well, I asked to see the CC logo under the flap, as I wasn't entirely convinced, and this is what it looked like. From what I've read from the many luxury blogs, the right-sided C should overlap the other C on the upper part. But this bag had it the other way round and looks a little off to me. I mean, maybe it really could be a super vintage piece where the CC logo wasn't standardized yet. Well, any of you have any thoughts on this, and should I be deterred by this fact that the positioning of the logo is quite different? Now, moving on to the chains. The chains with the bijou design, which was very beautiful and vintage looking. According to the seller, the bijou chain was made from 1977 onwards. So could this be really from a piece from the period of 1977 to 1983? I really don't think anybody would fake the vintage chains, you know. But I guess in this day and age, you never know, and the last thing I want is to purchase a super fake Chanel bag. Personally, I've never seen a Chanel full flap with the parallel stitchings for the diamond quilting, but this really could be a one-of-a-kind piece that is really rare. I met up with the seller and saw the bag in person eventually. Overall, the wear of the bag and the leather held up really well with close to no scuffings on the edges. There were some light scratches on the front flap, which for a 1970s bag is quite remarkable. I noticed that the zipper pull was in the Eclair brand, which I have also done my research on before when I looked into my HERMES bag from the period 1922 to 1944, which I have talked a fair bit on in this video. According to some luxury blogs, the Eclair zips are used during the late 70s or early 80s for vintage Chanel bags. Apart from Eclair zippers, Chanel also uses the EP zippers, Lampo zippers, Lampo 2 zippers with the bulbous shape, Opti DMC zippers, the Triple C zippers in a circle, and DMC zippers, which is like a button with the double C logo. Well, long story short, I didn't purchase the bag, although the price was amazing. There were a few conflicting features in the bag which I wasn't too sure about, and I'm not sure if this time I really missed out on a super vintage deal, or I thankfully walked away from a super fake bag. Well, if you were in my shoes, would you solely trust the entropy certificate, or would you also look into all the other finer details? Well, I would love to know your opinion. Overall, I am still on a no-buy challenge this month, and I am so glad I'm still keeping good on this challenge. I guess this video would be a personal call out to any vintage Chanel aficionados out there who knows a lot about super vintage Chanel bags, and please do enlighten all of us. I hope you enjoyed today's topic, and do remember to subscribe and join my little corner. Take care, queens, and see you next week. Goodbye!